Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. This is Tony Beers. And this is a special episode of Movie Grades. This is going to be a double feature. And since this is St. Patrick's Day, we're going to have to do things right. I've got my green on. I got my corned beef. Got my cabbage. Got my potato. And I got the good stuff. That's good cider. And since it's St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to review two movies that have two of my more favorite Irish characters. I'm going to review Boondock Saints and Boondock Saints 2. Alright, let's get this started. Now, Boondock Saints is about two Irish brothers who immigrate to America, Boston to be specific, and they just happen to get in a fight with Russian gangsters. And they actually win the fight, and they kill these Russian gangsters in self-defense, and a FBI agent is sent to investigate their murders, played by Willem Dafoe, who is great in this role. He is like the top-notch FBI agent. These two brothers turn themselves in, and since it was only self-defense, they are let go. They realize, hey, we're good at this. So they decide, let's do it. We see people getting murdered, people getting robbed, people getting raped every day, and nobody does anything about it. The bad guys get caught and they go back on the street again. So these brothers decide to become vigilantes. The only thing is that they're extremely religious, and they only kill those who've got it coming. They've only killed the bad guys.
The hitmen think they're on a mission from God.
Anybody you think is evil, don't you think that's a little weird, a little psycho?
Now, I don't know how religious these guys can be. I guess they haven't really heard of thou shalt not kill. But they feel justified in their killings since they're all bad guys. They're helped out by their Italian friend, Rocco, who actually works for the Mafia. He knows all these gangsters, so he helps out the brothers and shows them where these gangsters are so they can deliver their own brand of justice. Now, along the way, Willem Dafoe's character of the FBI agent is conflicted. He doesn't know whether he should just let these guys do their thing or whether he should arrest them, because on one hand, they are committing crimes, they are vigilantes, and they are killing people. On the other hand, they're only killing the bad guys. So he feels what they do is necessary. Willem Dafoe is probably the best actor in this movie. He does a really great job of playing this character, who is an FBI agent. He's also a closet homosexual. He's a gay character, but he's not comfortable with his own sexuality, which is an interesting character to see. There's one problem I do have with Willem Dafoe's character. Towards the end of the movie, he dresses up in drag to help the brothers. Now, this part I don't quite understand, because Willem Dafoe is an ugly man, and he is an even uglier woman. He convinces a mob member that he is a gorgeous woman, and this mob member actually falls for it. And I have hard time believing Willem Dafoe as a woman, let alone a woman who can distract a mob member. This guy who he distracts must be very desperate for a woman's attention, because I don't know any man who is desperate enough to go for Willem Dafoe in drag. The brothers later find out that they are kind of getting in over their heads. They aren't professional killers, and they're going after the mob, which just puts a strain on their lives. The mob sends a killer after them, and they later find out that it is their long-lost father. And they know this because after every kill that they do, they put pennies on the eyes of their victims to pay the ferryman to to take them to the afterlife. And they also say a prayer before they kill their victims. And it's the same prayer said by their father. This movie is classified as an action movie, but you could also put it under the category of a dark comedy, because this movie is actually very, very funny. It's not the humor that some people like, but it is the humor that other people will love. It's a very, very dark humor, but it's very, very funny as well. Another problem I have with this movie is that the F-bomb is used way too much. The writer really needs to get a thesaurus.
Fucking what the fucking fuck? Who the fuck? Fuck this fucking... How did you do fucking... fucks? Fuck!
Well, it certainly illustrates the diversity of the word.
Now, I don't mind F-bombs being used in the movie. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so I don't mind F-bombs at all. But this movie uses that word in excess. I've seen the deleted scenes of this movie, and there's one very funny scene in which the brothers get a call from their mother, and this scene is hilarious. Now, I can't help but think that if they take out some of the F-bombs, they could have put in some of these scenes and the movie could be even much better. The action in this movie is excellent. I love the action. This is a real guy's movie. It is extremely violent, but it is also extremely fun and extremely funny. This is what the Punisher movie should be. Marvel should take a look at this movie to see what a Punisher movie should be. This is a vigilante movie at its best. I really love this movie. I suggest any guy who's into hardcore action and violence and humor, a very, very dark humor, any guy or gal who likes that type of stuff would love this movie. Now, like I said, this movie is good, but it's not perfect, so I give it a B-. Now, for Boondock Saints 2. Okay, this movie takes place 10 years after the first. The boys have secluded themselves back to Ireland. They're herding sheep in Ireland. They have now grown their hair long. They've got full, long beards. They reunited with their father. And they're basically in hiding because of all the mobsters they killed. When all of a sudden a priest comes in and reports that in America, in Boston, that a priest has been killed in his own church in the same manner the way they killed their victims. Essentially, they're being framed for murder that they did not commit. This has the same MO of the pennies on the eyes. And they find out that a hit was put out on this priest by the son of the mob boss that was killed by them in the first movie. In this movie, most of the main characters come back. This time, Willem Dafoe's place is taken over by a very lovely young woman.
I didn't even know he had a protege.
Special Agent Eunice Bloom. This broad's gonna be a nightmare.
So the boys, even though they know this is a trap trying to call them out, they still go ahead and they go back to America and they take on the mob once again. In the last movie, their Italian friend was killed, and this time he's replaced by a Mexican guy who has the similar characteristics of their Italian friend. He's basically the comic relief of this movie, and he is hilarious in this movie, let me tell you.
You guys find the bad guys doing bad stuff and you kill them, right?
Isn't that simple, actually?
Yes, it is.
Suppose you're right. I was just hoping that we was a little more artistic about it, I think.
Yeah, well, you ain't.
And in this movie, we get the origins of the brother's father.
That is working.
So, just like the movie Dead Alive, I have to thank my friend TJ for showing me these movies. I love these movies.
Alright, get your stupid fucking rope.
Now, watching this movie, leaned over to my friend TJ, and I said to him, now let me ask you something. This girl in this movie, she has the same methods as Willem Dafoe's character. She does everything just like him. Is she actually just Willem Dafoe after a sex change? And he looked at me and laughed and said, oh, that's dumb, that's ridiculous. But I honestly thought this. Willem Dafoe's character was gay in the last movie, and he did dress up like a woman. So I assumed that this was just the next natural natural step. I just thought it would be a very unexpected twist. It would be the kind of twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan jealous. Well, of course I was wrong, but it made sense to me. This movie is much like the original. In fact, it takes the original and it just amps it up 10 notches. It amps up the action, it amps up the comedy. It's just great. Since the movie is amped up, I'm gonna have to amp up my grading and give this movie a B+. So, if you guys don't mind, I've got some work to do. Forgot my pennies.